The Philippine Red Cross Ambulance Services Standards and Guidelines, together with the Emergency Dispatch Standards and Guidelines, is the ambulance crew's reference on ambulance operations that EMS providers are mandated and allowed to deliver at the scene of illness or injury and while transporting the patient to the closest appropriate hospital. This guidebook has been developed by Safety Services EMS Unit through the EMS project funded by the American Red Cross with the technical supervision of Magen David Adom in Israel. This was then scrutinized and vetted by PRC Medical Director Dr. Arthur Catley and the Medical Officer Dr. Jeremy Cordero together with the Safety Services Manager Mr. Von Ryan Ong. They have reviewed and given their signatures to affirm that this document will encompass all existing ambulance services protocols and standing orders used by the different PRC chapters across the country. The Ambulance Services Standards and Guidelines will be used by the ambulance team, EMS crew, as a step-by-step guide in performing its responsibilities. These guidelines are aligned with the current knowledge and skills of emergency medical technicians trained by the PRC. The Upscale Guidebook is a living document. It has a framework for update and revisions. A scheduled review will be conducted every 3 years after its approval this year to continuously improve as we strive towards excellence. I am Lazaro B. Isidro III, National Field Representative for EMS Operations. It is my privilege to enumerate the highlights of the Philippine Red Cross Emergency Medical Services Ambulance Standards and Guidelines. It consolidates and encompasses all existing institutional memoranda, operational standards, and standing orders with regards to ambulance use and its management, such as securing of travel orders, reporting mechanism of every emergency response, new ambulances. It covers operational administration and proper use and maintenance of ambulance vehicle and its equipment. It specifies the qualifications aligned with regulatory standards of the government and the responsibilities of the members of the EMS ambulance crew. It provides detailed and systematic instructions to the ambulance crew on establishing and maintaining communication with the emergency dispatch unit of the operation center during the entirety of its shift. It provides guidance to the ambulance team in accomplishing the pre-hospital patient care report form. It provides guidance to the ambulance team in ensuring that all ambulances are response-worthy every time. It gives guidelines for EMS personnel handling special scenarios such as non-initiation of resuscitation in an emergency medical scene, involvement in possible crime scene, responding to communicable diseases, and negative pressure ambulance protocols, among others. Together with the patient care and treatment protocol, it determines the scope of practice of the ambulance team. Lastly, the guidebook directs all PRC EMS personnel to ensure the continuity of care in every response, from the ground to the application of quality pre-hospital care to the ambulance for transport to a definitive care until endorsement to appropriate medical facility. Ultimately, the Ambulance Services Standards and Guidelines is part of the PRC's integrated protocols aimed at giving optimum care to the patient and ensure that all ambulance-related assets and resources are properly maintained and accounted for. These protocols are meant to help the PRC EMS personnel perform their duties to the best of their ability within the parameters set by the Philippine Red Cross.